All right, so today's video is all about your step-by-step plan to learning, starting, and growing an AI agency. It's really any kind of agency, but we'll talk about how AI is involved and what our current business model and our process. But we're going to go through it all, A to Z. So if you've never done anything before, you don't know where to start, or you've been looking at things and you've just kind of been lost and confused, this is going to lay it all out there for you, so there's no questions and you know exactly what's happening here, right? So first and foremost, it's learning the right things, right? And of course, those of you in our have access to our course and our program that are walking through this is the order in which you're learning things. Okay. So first and foremost, and I'll touch on a little bit of these on each of these topics here, and then we'll dig into the actual business itself. First and foremost, what is this business, right? So we are running what is commonly called a marketing agency, but also, a lot of us, we just do this ourselves as solopreneurs. So, same thing that marketing consultants would do. There's 2,000 names for this kind of business: social media marketing agency, SMMA, agency, AI agency, marketing consulting. It goes by several different names, and technically those are all different types of business, but we all have the same theme. And it is typically, we are getting paid to help local businesses, typically local service businesses. We are getting paid to help them advertise so that they can get more customers and sales. That's the bottom line. That is what we're doing. It is a business model that has been around since there's been businesses. Since businesses have been born, if you will, they have been paying other people to help them advertise, right? In all forms and fashions, from billboards to phone books to even back, you see it in the movies where the little kid's on the corner and he's screaming at people, hey, do this and that, but it's because some business owner up the street paid them. Or even back in the Roman days where they have all the vendors out and people are walking and the little kid runs up to him and say, mister, come get our fresh fruit or whatever. I don't know. Some business owner paid the kid to go run. It's been around forever. Business owners have been paying people forever to help them get more customer sales, which makes sense, right? Business owners are busy. And just because someone decides to be a business owner, they don't magically know how to market and advertise, right? Just because someone says, you know what, I want to open up a gym, they do not magically get it's not like the Matrix where they can plug in a USB and download all the information on how to get customers for their gym, right? How to get members, and they don't magically know how to do, even if they, Facebook. It doesn't magically mean that they know how to run Facebook ads or do SEO or send emails or for email marketing stuff. So there's a lot of things going on where sometimes people think there's a lot of thought out there sometimes that business owners just, what am I going to, I'm just new to this. How am I going to, talk to one of them, and why don't they do it? They can just do it themselves. We have all these assumptions and all these things, but in the end, business owners are too busy. They're busy running the business themselves. A lot of them don't have time to learn marketing and advertising. Some of them just, they have tried and they just can't figure it out themselves, because there's also typically no formal training on this, right? You can go to school for marketing, you can get a college degree in marketing, but it doesn't teach you how to run Facebook ads successfully. That's not what you learn when you go to school to learn these kind of things. You learn concepts and ideas, but no one teaches you the actual day-to-day tactical, here's how you set up an email marketing strategy so that you can get your existing customers to buy more things from you, right? That's not taught anywhere. That's all stuff that you have to get from programs or people like me who have been doing it and share that information through trial and error, right? A lot of times that information isn't available. You have to go out there and people have to go out there and cut their teeth on it and figure things out. So in the end, business owners need us. And so we fill that need. We fill that gap. Okay. Well, why can't they just do it themselves? Well, why can't you do your own dry cleaning? Why can't you why can't people mow their own yard? Again, people can, but a lot of people don't want to. They rather pay other people to do it. Okay. So whatever reason in your head you think that, well, I don't know if I'll be able to get this to work. It's just you creating a reason in your head, and that's it. There's literally no justification for it. This business works. It's been proven for decades, well before AI, well before whatever the next trend is and whatever is going on in the future. It's always going to be around. That's the beautiful thing about this business. Now, because it is a wide, broad area, marketing, right? What services do we offer? Well, we like to focus on just a handful of proven services that translate into the business, getting more customers and sales. Because in the end, there's a lot of services out there that are just surface level services that people like and even businesses will like, because it just seems like it works. Like, oh, okay, well, I should be doing this because, like, for example, social media posting. Well, I should be posting on social media because that gets new customers. Well, and in fact, most of the time, just having a social media strategy, just someone posting on Facebook or Instagram or Snap or TikTok or whatever, it doesn't translate into actual customers. Okay. You can devise a strategy, but it's a long-term big strategy where I got to have this type of content. And then I should also have this type of content and guide them through a funnel. Like it's more complex than what the average person is actually doing out there. But so we focus on just a handful of services. So for one, we don't have to learn 20,000 different things. We can keep our menu small, right? If you've ever eaten at a cheesecake factory, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When you offer someone too many things, sometimes they make no choice whatsoever, right? Cheesecake Factory is a great example of that. If you've ever sat down and had a meal at Cheesecake Factory, their menu is the size of a phone book. And it takes forever for someone to make a choice because it all looks good and it's all this stuff. And do I want this? Even their cheesecake menu, right? There's like 100 cheesecakes versus In-N-Out. People flock to In-N-Out because they do just a few things really good. Their menu is like one page. Okay. It's the same stuff. We're In-N-Out. Okay. We want to do a few things really good. And that's it. Okay. We don't want to offer 20 different things because when you're building a business, you also want it to be simple and scalable. And if you offer too many things, that kind of makes that difficult at times. Okay. So we'll talk about the services we're going to offer, but just as a heads up, we're going to focus on 5 different services. We'll focus on websites, email, text marketing, review management, lead generation, it'll be Facebook, Google ads, and what's called local search engine optimization, local SEO. Those are the core services that we'll offer. Okay. And then how do we sell, right? That's the next thing you're going to want to learn. How do you sell these services? Well, we like to incorporate and use a results first strategy. Okay. It's a proven strategy. It's the trial strategy that has been around forever. Again, just think about streaming services, right? When Netflix started going digital and all that, started offering trials, you could sign up for a 7 or 14-day trial or 30-day, whatever it was at the time. Give it a try. And if you liked it, you started paying for it and you kept paying for it, right? Or you became a subscriber. That's how there's a lot of things that operate like that. You've all experienced it yourself where they say, oh, just sign up for a trial, try it out for 3 days, try it out for 7 days, try it out for this many days. And then if you like it, you just keep whatever, and then we'll charge you, whatever. It's the same kind of principle where we're going to start by offering a result first instead of saying, well, we can do this for you. It's going to cost this. That's what a lot of people do. And you could eventually get to that point. But when you're first starting, a great strategy is to do the opposite of everyone else and just say, hey, here's a result and here's how much it costs. It's really that simple. That kind of concept. And we'll talk about that here in just a little bit. But that's the way we're going to sell these services. Start with a foot in the door offer, get them interested in that by showing them the result, get them to pay for that, and then we'll sell them our other services. Okay. Where are we going to find prospects? This is the next thing you got to know for your business, for your AI agency, for your agency in general. Okay. We're going to focus on 3 different little areas, not little areas. We're going to focus on 3 different areas. Okay. That will be hot, warm, and cold markets. Okay. So we'll talk about those in a second. And then how to grow and scale. Okay. Once I understand the basic process of what do I offer, okay, how do I sell it, and then where do I find the people, then my process is just repeating that over and over and over again. And again, we'll look at that in a second. Then I need to know how to grow and scale. Okay. What that typically means is I'm looking at my weaknesses, what I'm not good at, what I'm not strong at, and I learn how to be a business owner and not try to do everything myself and struggle in those areas. I say, okay, well, I don't have time to do this, or I don't fully understand this, or I don't want to do this. I need to bring someone else in that can. Okay. And that might be even temporary, because you're like, well, I don't know how to do this thing yet. So I might have someone else, for example, right? I set up a service and I sell a service, but then they're interested also in Facebook ads, and I don't know how to do Facebook ads. Well, I can easily partner up with someone else and sell the Facebook ads and then have them do it and just split some money with them, right? Doesn't mean I don't want to learn how to do Facebook ads. It just means I'm not ready yet, right? And so that's an easy way for me to again, start getting my business going, start making, getting money coming in. And because that's money I would not have been able to take initially because I didn't know how to do it. So I would have gotten $0. But if I'm able to sell $1,000 a month Facebook ads to someone and split it, so even if I'm giving 50% to someone else to actually run it, and I don't have to do anything, I'm just collecting, basically I'm getting 50%. So I'm getting $500 a month. That's $500 a month I would not have had because I didn't know how to do Facebook ads. So I wouldn't have been able to sell it, to begin with. Right. And then eventually I do learn how to do Facebook ads. And next time I sell it, that full money goes to me. Right. Or my team. Right. And so that's the process. And this is kind of what I want to learn. And for those of you in the training, in the program, the course already, this is how the training is broken out. This is how you're learning. It's this simple. Okay. It's just these things, these categories of things. Okay. And then ultimately I find out that the business is really only 3 steps. Once I put all this together. Okay. It is 1, find a business. 2, offer them your services. 3, provide the services. This is all we're doing. So once I kind of get into the intricacies, like, okay, I'm doing this part, it's good to kind of step back and then just look at it overview. This is all that's happening. So I want to make sure as I'm building and learning and starting and building my business, I'm never lost and confused. Well, this is an easy way to not get lost and confused because I know these are the only parts of the business, right? So I know I'm only in one of these parts at a time, right? That's until I start building my team and adding up where I have multiple things going on. But in the end, when I'm just getting started, number 3 doesn't matter because I need to start with number 1, right? And so everything's one step at a time. And these are the only 3 steps, okay? Always and forever. This is no matter how big your business is. It's always just these steps, okay? No matter how small or big, okay? And so how's the results for a strategy look when we break it all down? Okay, we talked about this, but let's look at it in detail, okay? We are going to start with a foot in the door service, and we're going to provide a trial of that service, meaning we will provide the result without them needing to front any money to us, okay? They keep their wallet in their pants. Hey, let me keep your wallet in your pants. Here, let me show you the result. Here's what I can do for you. Here's what I did for you. Okay. And then ultimately they like it or they don't. Ideally they like it, they want it. Then we sell that service to them. Okay. Should be sell trial service, not services. So I sell that, meaning money exchanges hands now. They're happy. They say, yeah, I want that. Okay. So I collect money now. And that's it. Now they're a client. And then the next step is just to simply say, all right, well, cool. Well, I have these other things as well. Let's have a discussion about whether some of these might make sense for you as well. And that's it, right? This is my process of the offer them your services, right? Find a business. Once I find them, it's this process. Give them the result. Then if they want the result, collect the money for it. And then offer them other services, and then I would provide those results. And it's just rinse and repeat of this over and over and over again. Okay. Again, it's big picture. Once I break it out big picture and I just know that, okay, now this is all that's going on. It makes it way easy to digest and, more importantly, way easy to execute. So when I wake up every day, I know how my business works. I know what I offer. I know the process. And it's just that over and over and over again. I don't have to reintroduce new things, right? I don't have to confuse myself. I don't have to get lost or like, what about this? It's just this over and over and over again. Okay. The best businesses that work the fastest and are easiest to manage are simple. They have very simple processes. They're not having 20,000 moving parts. Okay. So it's just this over and over and over again. Okay. So what is our results for service, right? We talked about some different services that we can offer. Well, let's talk about what is going to be our results for a service. How do we pick that? Well, we are going to use AI-built websites for that. Okay. So why AI-built websites? And what does that mean? An AI website that has a robot on it or whatever? No, we're just going to use AI tools to build the website very fast and easy. Instead of us needing to be a coder, we're going to be able to just simply type and it's going to produce a website. AI will build it. Okay. Now, why this service versus the others? Well, first and foremost, if we're going to do a results first service where we're not going to get paid for it, and it's going to be our little dangling the carrot and like dangling it kind of like a toy, or hovering over a cat or something with a little feather, and we want them to get it. It has to be interesting to them. And in this case of a business owner, we want it to be something that they want and or need. Okay, ideally both. Here's the cool thing about websites. Websites are one of the first three things that a business owner, once they decide, you know what, I'm going to start a business. I'm going to start a X business, whatever that is. Once they decide that and they pick a name, you know what, and I'm going to call it, whatever, Johnny X company or whatever. Once they pick their name, one of the first three things that they do after that and getting their business set up and in order is a website pops into their head. Okay, I need a website. They just all business. It's like they're born with it now. Websites are such ingrained in our psyche that it's just one of the natural things that a business owner thinks that they need right away. And most businesses do. Okay, a website is an important thing. It's the business card for the website. It's the brand of the website that kind of sits on the internet so people can see it. And that's what they think, right? If I put up a website, people are going to find me and I'm going to get all the customers, right? So websites are super important to business owners when they're getting their business going. One of the first things they don't think of is, I need to get Facebook ads going. That's not even remotely close on their priority list at the moment. Some businesses won't ever even think about Facebook ads until they're brought up somewhere sometime down the road. Okay. I'm saying that not because Facebook ads suck. I'm talking about marketing services in general aren't a priority to a business owner when they're getting their business going, but they definitely are going to get a website going. Okay. Now let's take it a step further. We're not worried about finding people who don't have a website. We just need it to be something that the business needs and wants. Okay. So business owners value websites as an important part of their business. Okay. So that checks off the first thing here. Okay. The second thing we want in a service is we want it to be cheap and easy to fulfill, meaning we want it to not cost us a lot of money to do it. And we want it to be super easy. And the reason why we need it to be these things is because it's going to be the core of our strategy. Like this is what our whole strategy hinges on. It hinges on us giving this thing to the business owner to impress them and them liking it so that they say yes and give us money and then we can sell them more things as well. So our whole process is based on this. So meaning every business that we interact with, this is how we started off. And if we were to use a service that cost us a lot of money to set up and we haven't even collected money yet, well, we're probably not going to want to do that too often. It's not going to we'll probably go broke just doing it a few times. And that'll be kind of frustrating. And if it's not easy, if it's something hard and complicated, and we're only able to, like, it takes us a couple days or something to set something up for one opportunity, well, we're going to move super slow and we'll get tired of doing it. So this is more important for us. The business owner won't care, but for us, this is super important for us because we need something that we can easily and happily do over and over and over as many times as we can, as fast as we can, without it negatively impacting us. Okay. The beautiful thing about an AI built website is we can actually we can start building these things for free. Okay. And it takes us minutes because AI is a super smart brain robot thing that is way smarter and better than us in most things. And one of the things it's really good at is building things like websites. And with just by simply typing, build me a beautiful professional website for a local plumber here in Miami, whatever, I can within minutes have a beautiful website. Whereas back in the day, a decade ago or whatever, however many years ago, even like a few years ago, this would it would take a coder. You wouldn't be able to just throw together a website. Even with the new website builders and stuff, it would take you probably multiple days to set up a website, whereas AI can do it in minutes. Okay. So cheap and easy to fulfill. AI built websites handle that for us. And that's the beautiful thing about this. This wouldn't be possible years ago without a lot of extra work involved. Okay. And then the last but not least thing that we want for a service that we're going to use as a results first foot in the door is we want to be able to price it lower than what people think it's worth. Because who doesn't want that, right? If I walked up to you and gave you a gold bar and say, hey, it's $5 for this giant gold bar. Like in your head, you're like, man, a gold bar is worth a lot of money. And he's only asking $5? Heck yeah. Now, that's a weird extreme example because you might be saying, well, I probably would think that gold bar is fake and all that. But my point of being would be you look at something and you think it's worth a lot of money, but the price of it, it's a good deal. And you're like, oh, okay, that's a good deal. I'll jump on that. Right? That's what we want our service to be. Okay. We're going to price our service. This website, we're going to price it between $500 to $3,000. The perceived value of a website, just because there's a whole history of people being charged for websites, the average local business website has gone anywhere between $5,000 to $10,000. So $500 to $3,000 is a great deal because the bar has already been set on what the average price of a website is. Because it's essentially effortless for us to produce these things and doesn't cost us a lot of money, we can come in with a nice, attractive price that would get a lot of business owners to jump on just by that number. Now, why this range? It's mainly going to be based on your confidence level. If I'm not very confident yet, I'm new and I'm shaky, or I'd be nervous to even say a price, then start with 500, because we can all agree 500 is an amazing deal for a website. Okay. We already know 5,000 to 10,000 is what the average website goes for. Okay. So start at 500 and then offer and sell a website for 500 a couple times, and then start stepping it up to 1,000 and then 1,500, ultimately up to 3,000. But you can go past that. There's people selling these websites right now for $5,000 to $10,000. Why? Because websites typically go for $5,000 to $10,000 in the past. And these are beautiful professional websites. They're not cheap, flimsy things just because they're built on AI. They are actually full functioning websites. Okay. And so we have a nice range to play in to be able to get a business owner to say yes, and also adjust it based on our confidence level and step it up as we build more confidence. Okay. So this is why we're going to use the AI built websites. And so the goal is we sell the website and they say, yep, what awesome. And then we'll end up selling them one of our other services, our marketing services. Okay. And our services, we mentioned them earlier. We have message marketing, which is email text marketing. It's an email text marketing campaign. You get 1 million of these during Black Friday. Well, this is something that's actually a year-round viable strategy that works really, really well. It's very affordable, and it produces a high return on investment for businesses. We can charge, on average, we charge anywhere from $297 to $497 a month for this service. Okay. Then we have review management, helping a business get more positive reviews online. This is easily charged between $97 a month and $297 a month. Both of these services are pretty much stuff that we just kind of set up and they just automatically happen. Okay. Lead generation. Okay. That is actually running Facebook ads or Google ads, depending on the type of business, whichever one of those makes sense. Some businesses, both might make sense. You can charge anywhere from $997 a month to $2,000 a month. Typically, that's the range where the price will fall. Okay. Now, what you're noticing is all these are per month. The website's a one-time, basically. That's a one-time cost. It's there, delivered. And then these are our reoccurring monthly services that we'll be stacking on to get reoccurring monthly income. And then we have local SEO. That's easily going to go anywhere between $897 a month to $1,500 a month is typically the range you're going to see that fall into. Sometimes you might see that go a little lower than $897, depending on how people want to do that with the Google business profiles and stuff. But you can easily get in this range right here. And that can include website SEO as well. All of these services, I may be able to sell one. I may be able to sell all four. Okay. But this is where it all really stacks. I use the website as the foot in the door, and then I'm looking to stack these on top. And I just keep doing that. Okay. So where am I going to find these businesses though? Okay. So we have a layered approach to this that makes it real easy to get started and grow it. Okay. And so we have different levels of heat, if you will, right? Our hottest prospecting method, meaning it is the best, is my existing network. Okay. And that could include people you don't even know, but are friends of friends. Okay. So arm's reach is anyone that is in my network. That could be people, friends or family. That could be a business that I frequent already. You probably all go to a dentist, or you all go to, maybe some of you go to a chiropractor. Some of you use lawn care. Some of you have a roofer. Some of you some of you go to the gym. There's lots of people already in your network that you can just simply say what you're doing. For the friends and family, a strategy, we talk about it in our training, is you simply just post on social media. Say, hey, just a heads up, if anyone out there in my network knows a business owner, I'm doing some really cool things to help business owners get more sales, customers, and even redesign website. A beautiful redesigned professional website. If you know anyone that might be interested, feel free to message me or drop a comment below, tag them in the post below. Okay. That works really well with friends and families because a lot of people are scared to or think it's salesy or scuzzy to ask their friends and family, right? Hey, John, do you run a business? Or I heard you run a business. I'm doing this stuff. Some people don't like to feel that way, or some people don't like to receive that kind of inquiry from someone in their network. So we do it kind of an insidious little trick there by simply just announcing on social media saying, hey, if you know anybody, because then if you do already have someone in your network that is a business owner, right, it opens it up for them to say, well, I don't know anybody, but I'm not sure if you know, I actually run a lawn care company, man. I would love to talk to you about that. And so you were able to put it in front of them, what you're doing, without directly having to ask them. Okay. The other benefit of that is you get to leverage your network because you don't know who they know. Case in point, we had someone who did this and they did that post, and one of their friends piped up on the post, like, or actually messaged them and say, dude, I'm not sure if you know, but Brian, my friend Brian is actually owns the third largest car dealership in Florida. Now that was like probably 5 years ago. So I don't know if there still are that big or whatever, but that was in their network. That person had no idea that type of person was in their network. That's the beauty of doing something like this. And it's hot. It's considered a hot prospecting method, which is the best, is because there is no better way to get someone, a customer, than by a referral from a friend or someone you already know that already has trust built. Okay. So arm's reach was the first layer that we want to tap into. After that, there's a whole other layer of business owners that are already raising their hand asking for help. Okay. Now they're warned because we probably don't know these people, right? They're not in our network, right? But there are people out there that are like, I need a new website. Okay. I need a new website. And by the way, on that really quick, I didn't touch on it where I meant to in the why the websites are good. We don't care if they have a website or not. We just care that business owners want and need a website. When a business owner starts a business and they get a website, they find a way to get a website together, whether they had it in their budget or not. Okay. So they may put something together like with a GoDaddy site builder. They might have a friend who has a cousin who works in their mom's basement that can build a site for $50 and they just pay that person to get it done. Or maybe they had some money in a budget and they paid for a web designer to actually do it. In the end, websites are just like cars. We can walk out in the street and see everyone driving a car, but we don't know which of those people are ready for a new car. Okay. We could see someone drive by in a Lamborghini and think, oh man, they have it made. They're smooth sailing. But that person has been in that Lamborghini for a while and they're like, man, I'm tired of being all cramped up. I want a nice big sedan. I don't care about this sports car stuff anymore. I just want something that's less loud that I can take to the grocery store. And so in the end, we don't know who needs a new website. That's the beauty of the website. Okay. Because we don't know who needs it, but we know they all want it. They all won't part. They're not going to go a day without their website. Okay. But there's a lot of people that are ready to change their website because they don't like the way it looks. They couldn't afford a good one initially. Their business model has changed or their branding has changed. They want to reflect a different voice and all this stuff. We don't know who they are. And that's the great thing about it. It opens it up. Okay. But there are places that we can literally go where we like to call computers reach, where they're literally already raising their hand, asking for help. They have money in their hand. Hey, I need a new website. Can I will someone take my money and build me a new website, please? That's what computers reach is. And that is Upwork, Freelancer, Guru. These are sites where business owners come 24/7. They post asking for help. They ask for help for a variety of marketing services and variety of just things in general. Okay. Websites is one of those things. Okay. So we'll start with arm's reach. Then we'll hit the computers reach, and that's where we'll focus first until we get into a nice routine. And then when we're ready to scale, we're ready to go outside of that, okay? Because we're maximizing that opportunity. We're checking every day. We're responding to people who are raising their hand. Well, then it's time to start going out and finding people who aren't raising their hand. We don't know if they need a website. We just see them driving by in a car. We know they use a car, but we don't know if they're ready to change their car. So we may show them a better looking car. Say, hey, I built this car for you. Or in our case, a website. And we say, hey, I'm not sure if you're interested in this. Something to take a peek at, right? And that is our, what we call cold prospecting, because they are not coming to us. We are going to them and we don't know if they need something or not. That's where typically our cold calling and cold emailing comes into play. Okay. So that's our layers of prospecting. And that's how we go out and find people to sell our services to, right? Sell our websites to. And so our process is really just this simple thing over and over and over again. We're going to find the opportunity wherever that is. The opportunity presents itself, whether it came from Arm's Reach, from our computers reach, or our cold prospecting, our scale prospecting. The opportunity appears. Okay. We build them a demo website. Okay. We'll use easy AI tool for that. And then once it's built, okay, we put together and we'll use AI actually to build a proposal or an outreach script and give that to them. And then the goal is to close the deal, right? Okay. The way we'll do that, we'll sell using what we call the 50-50 website arbitrage strategy. And that is simply, if I'm going to sell the website for say $1,000, I'm going to ask for 50% of that up front, $500, deliver the website, and then collect the other 500 at the end. Okay. The other 50%. Okay. In between, during the delivery, I like to do 2 rounds of revisions. The first is content and layout. Sorry. The first is layout and functionality. Okay. Hey, where do you want this? Do you want a form? Do you want the form here or over there? Do you like where this button is, or would rather this section be moved over to this section? All that kind of stuff, the layout. And then once they tell you what they want, again, I can use AI to do this, copy and paste it in. Changes are made, show them the changes. They say, yep, that's good. Then I ask for the content. The second round of revisions is what do you want the content to say? What do you want the words to be? Okay. And then they give you that, or I can work out a deal to help them create that. Again, I would use AI for that. And then I make those changes, and then it's done. I do that to keep things organized. So it's not a bunch of back and forth. Oh, change this button. And then, all right, change that button. They're like, okay, oh, now I want this thing. It gives you organization to your process, makes it look professional, keeps it from being a big back and forth that goes on for days and weeks. It keeps things very organized, makes it very easy for both of you, for them to get what they want and you to deliver what they want in a simple manner, and then ultimately collect that last 50%. Then the next step after I deliver the website is just sell the other services. Okay. And it makes it very easy when I start with the website and I'm pivoting to marketing services, because it's simple. Hey, we delivered the website, or now that the website's good, what are you guys doing to get new customers? What are you guys doing to get what are you going to do to get eyeballs on that new website? Okay. What do you guys got going on? Because I do those kind of things too. And, by the way, I'm waiting for them to kind of answer, but then I can come in and say, well, look, I do these things too. How about if you're available tomorrow, let's hop on a Zoom. I'd love to hear more about what you guys got going on and your the ways you're getting customers or looking to get customers. I'll share a little bit about what it is I do to in that kind of area, and then we can go from there. It's a super easy pivot. It's the next logical pivot, right? If I'm just deliver the website, the next thing is talk about marketing services. One of the things I didn't even pull in there is there's some AI stuff I can do in there, like AI receptionist. So there's some other services I kind of didn't hit, but are AI related. The only ones I didn't mention are like the AI type people services, where I can put AI into their business and install that in there to help them with the management and running of their business, on top of actually marketing services that I can incorporate AI into to help them, again, get more customers and sales. So I have a lot of things so that when I have that discussion, there's an opportunity for at least one thing for me to sell them, which again is a monthly reoccurring service. And it's just this process over and over again. Every opportunity rolls just like this. And the end goal is simply me stacking multiple clients on top of each other, where I'm selling the website. I get that money up front, or I get that money. And then the cool thing is even if they don't want marketing services, because we've done business, for one, I've gotten paid. So I'm happy either way. I've gotten some money. Okay. But the second thing is, if I don't sell a recurring marketing service, it's still on the table down the road because they're connected to me. I can check in at any interval that I want, say 60 days down the road or 90 days down the road. Hey, I just wanted to check in. I took a look at the website. Everything was still looking good. How is business? Well, look, I know you weren't interested at the time in any marketing. Has things changed? How's the customer flow? You guys getting all the business that you want, or are you guys looking for a little growth? What's going on? I can check in at any point in time because I'm tied to them, and it makes sense. I'm not coming out of. I'm not a cold approach anymore. I'm someone they know, like, and trust, and have already done business with. Okay, and me just following up to see how things are going makes me look like a superhero, because I'm not someone who just did something and disappeared forever, right? But the great thing about that is that continues to open me up for business, and it could be from them or could be from someone else. Hey, just out of curiosity, do you know anyone else who might benefit from this kind of stuff? Business owners know other business owners. So I'm constantly in this loop of being able to get more business from everyone that I interact with. Okay. And this is it. This is the business over and over and over again. All right. And just really quick, just a quick demo of tools. Let's look really quick. Okay. All right. So let's just say that I'm going to go to, and I'll share my screen. Let's just say that I'm going to go and use Upwork as my place to find website opportunities. Okay. So let me share my screen. Okay. So again, website, this is Upwork. There's other sites like this, but in the end, Upwork is your biggest one typically. So I'd start here and then I'd branch out into the other places. But in the end, all I'm looking for is I'm just looking for people asking for a website. Okay. That's it. I'm not looking for complicated stuff. If it's something that I just don't understand, that means it's way too complicated, because you should understand that all they're looking for is a website. If you're not getting that, then pass on it, because there's always someone new posting. Okay. So let's just, for a quick example, just look here. We have someone that's looking for it's a health insurance agency. Okay. And that's simple. Okay. I'm just going to take this. I'm going to take this over to our tool, our AI website building tool. In this case, it's going to be Lovable. It's very easy. It has a free plan to start, and then I can easily incrementally upgrade. Actually, same thing with Upwork. I can get started for free. And once I maximize and spend credits up to my max, you get so many free credits a month. Once I hit that max, then I would have to upgrade. The cool thing is upgrading on Upwork, we're looking at like 20 to 40 bucks a month is the next level of upgrading. And for Lovable, once I max out, I can build like 2 sites a day for free, and those credits reset every day. Once I hit that, it's like a 20 to 25 bucks a month upgrade for that. So I'm looking at less than 50 bucks a month, or about 50 bucks a month total, for a complete system that's going to allow me to prospect the businesses and sell them these websites and ultimately sell these services. Okay. So super, super cheap to run this business. It's insanely cheap. Okay. All I'm going to do is I need a website based on the following project. Okay. And I'm just going to paste in the project. Okay. Web designer, modern for health insurance agency. Okay. I don't care about this. Okay. So I'm just deleting anything that really kind of didn't matter, which the word I just deleted was like, should have experience in health insurance websites. I don't need to tell that to AI. AI has experience in every kind of website. Right. And so I'm just going to go ahead and just have it build. Okay. Now I'm going to hang out here for a second, because Lovable, it didn't used to be this way. They've added in these little prompts that kind of like ping you to say, hey, do you want to put any input in? Like, hey, what is there a design that you're thinking off the top of your head or anything like that? I can either make a choice or I can just skip those and let AI make the determination. But we'll hang out just in case. So I don't want the process to get hung up. Once we make sure that there's no questions that it has, what we're going to do is we're going to, and it looks like it might go ahead and just start building it. We're just going to go into something like ChatGPT. Okay. Again, it doesn't matter which one of these things you use. They're all the same, basically. Okay. In this case, ChatGPT, and there's a free, you can use all these for free. And at worst case, if you do need to upgrade, we're talking like less than 10 bucks a month, I think, to use these kind of things. But I think that all these are free. I think initially I have a pay plan because I use for various things, but in the end, all I need to use this for is, in this case, it would be a proposal, because I'm going to submit it I would be sending this through Upwork. If it was a business that I found in like Google Maps or something like that, okay, that might be, instead of a proposal, I might be sending out like a cold email script, right? Or having a cold call script made. In the end, what I want to do is I want to send the website link to the business. Okay. And that's ultimately what I'm wanting to do. So in this case, it'll be through an Upwork proposal. Okay. So I need an Upwork proposal based on the following project. Okay. I'm just going to check on the website really quick. Yeah, it's building. It's actually almost built. Okay, I'll work based on the following project. I'm actually going to say I have already built a demo website for them based on their project, and I want to highlight it in my proposal. Okay, I'm just going to paste in the project and hit enter. Okay, and now it's going to go ahead and give me a nice proposal. And all I have to do is once the website's done, I'll publish it. It's going to give me a link, and I'm just going to insert the link here. Okay. And so again, why is that? It's because this is a results first strategy. Remember, I'm not telling them what I can do and then saying, yeah, give me some money and I'll do that for you. We are going to actually do the thing. So in this case, it's having the website done and presented to them. Now, I want you to understand, we're not worried about getting the 100% solution to them. It's going to be about a 90% solution because we're basing it on what they're asking for. But we're not worried about getting this perfect. It just needs to look somewhat like a site that they would like, right? Based on what they've said and based on what their business is. Because we are going to stand out that way by them seeing this, and they will tell us what they want to change. And so, or an update. But the cool thing is because we are delivering an actual physical website, everyone else is going to be saying, oh yeah, I could do that. I'm a web designer. Here's my portfolio. The business is going to have to imagine what their business might look like and what the website might look like for them. We've already kind of tailored it to their business. So it's more of them saying, oh, I really like this. I might put, I think we'd have our logo here. I think I like this part. Oh, I might have this part. I would have this part say. They're already kind of making changes as if it's their own because I've given them something that kind of they have in their hands. Everyone else, it's a theory, a theoretical imagination idea kind of thing that they can't physically grasp. We've given them something that they can physically grasp, and that enhances the sales psychology and makes them more likely to go with us because they have a thing already and they're already making changes. Once they start doing that, for this opportunity to go away from them, it's kind of the little bit more of a painful. It's a loss of aversion, I believe it's called in sales psychology, where they have something and you kind of take something away, it kind of hurts, so they don't want to lose it, right? And so that's kind of the psychology we're playing off here. We're playing off multiple psychological elements here by giving them the result first and also having it in their hands where they can start kind of envisioning it as their own. So we're really standing out on multiple levels here, but it's just this simple. Of course I can adjust this however I want. Let's check in on our website, which was done a few minutes ago. And here we go. We have a beautiful look at this. This is a beautiful health insurance website. And what's really, really, really cool is we would be able to, it already has multiple pages already as an about, plans, which obviously, see, again, we're not looking to get it 100% perfect because we would adapt it to their business. If they're like, yeah, this is, when they see this, everyone else is saying, oh, I could build you something. And they're looking at templates from other sites that someone built for an IT company, for a plumber. We have literally delivered the website they're asking for. Okay. All we would do is publish this. We have a URL right here. Okay. We can name this whatever we want. If it's Meridian Health we want to use, we can just change this name to Meridian Health. We can also, if we don't like this lovable domain here, we can actually put on our own domain, and we can have one domain that we use for all of our demo sites. Okay. So I can just add a domain. I can buy that from GoDaddy or Namecheap or wherever, add it here so that it doesn't have this link. So I have a lot of options. I can just use this link or I can put my own, but I would publish it, grab the link, and that link goes into my proposal. And then I send it, and that's it. That's that process that we talked about. I find the opportunity, right? And then I build the demo site, and then I build the outreach or proposal script. Done. And then I'm looking to now sell it for the 50-50 arbitrage. Okay. Again, if I have no experience or no confidence, I may start at $500. I may say, hey, it's $500, and I would collect $250 up front, $250 on delivery. Okay. the 50-50 website arbitrage strategy. Okay. And then once I've sold a couple sites at 500, then I'm step it up to 1,000. Okay. Work it up until you find your sweet spot where you're comfortable asking for that price and the conversion rates are good, that you're happy with, that have led you to close the deal. And also because the ultimate goal is to then start selling your marketing services on top of that. Okay. So I can start stacking that monthly recurring revenue. And then I'm just rinsing and repeating this process over and over and over and over again. And that is all the steps of learning, starting, growing, right? My AI agency. Cool.